Humans invented photo camera. Photo video doesn't matter. It captures the reality as we see it. Well, we can call it subjective, objective, I don't know. But something that we capture and it's fixated. It can be played back. You're saying that if we change our sensors, then the reality will be perceived differently. How is that possible that the camera captures what's in our sensors? Or maybe it captures more? Maybe if we had different organs of perception, we would see other things in the camera? Photo or video? Well, it's a challenge for me. I don't know how to explain it to you. All that photo, video, cameras, our eyes, our brain. Nothing's captured. All that is inside of us. So I don't know how to deliver it to you. It's all internal, in me. All depends on which Rishimo gets awakened in me and what they model in me. So they model objects inside of me, and only after I see them as being external. Within the last 100 years since humans began recording sounds and capturing images. Until that, everything was written. And here, all of a sudden, we can recreate everything that happened. Let's take you as an example. When you were recording Rubash, they still play their role, regardless of times they were made in. They still fit into conditions of any persona. How is it possible that it captures that reality? You have lots of your recordings in archive. For example, I watch videos we took a few years ago, and I get stunned how they contain information that I didn't catch back then. Of course, back then you didn't catch, and now you're catching. So what does recording of that information mean, you're asking? Well, how does it happen then? It's Rishimo, Vladik. It's Rishimo, there's nothing more to that. It's actualization of Rishimo, and nothing else. Records of information. They exist. They initially, meaning even before anything is created, they already exist. Only later they unfold. They unfold and get actualized. They get fulfilled, and they stay in such form until they all gather together into one single system. Fully complete, absolute, perfect, complete, self-contained system, which is called the world of infinity. And all small details, no matter what happens, it all being realized and recorded. What we now invent, all types of recording devices, all that is nonsense. Everything around us is recorded already. It's one single computer. It's one single system of connections. It contains everything. And we only awaken larger and larger connections. We constantly capture everything. Besides, things being captured are our intentions, our thoughts, our efforts, our will, our sufferings, anything you want. Because Rishimo is made out of two parts. Volume, Rishimo the Avyut, meaning force of desire, and Rishimo the Itlapshut, the force of attainment, or the size of attainment. It's made out of two parts, so it all gets recorded, and there's nothing else to that. Everything is intact in Rishimo. All this is a huge record. It's only that it gradually unfolds in front of us, but in fact, everything exists. Why is it unfolding for you gradually? So you can learn, so you can become its active element. So you would absorb it into you, and you would become its master, sort of, alongside and equal with the creator. And what Bala Sulam did when he wrote his scripts and then he would burn it. Well, it's for the reason why would we give it to people so that it would only confuse them. And today also we have many of his scripts, part of which we publish, part of which we didn't, because what's the point of reading them if a person has not achieved that level yet? He doesn't even understand the words that are written there. So they indicate some kind of sensations, some kind of terms, some kind of levels of in-world absolute, Garda absolute, but what am I going to do with what I'm reading? It's all gibberish to me. That fact that he wrote it, why did he do it? Well, that's a different story. He wrote it to help the world, because when he expresses it in some kind of form, either in written form or verbal form, at that moment he brings down to the level of our world, or almost to the level of our world, we can say, he brings down those higher attainments, higher revelations, meaning he pulls down that higher source toward us, into our world. And thus, our world comes closer to the source of light. It helps. What are you talking about? Things he has done to us, to our world, I don't know. 100 years in advance. In fact, 100 years of difficult years. And regarding those records of Rabash you made, how much has they played out so far? Well, generally I've already played them out. Long time ago. I've covered them many times now. In books, in lessons, in my posts, in my talks. They're all in the past now. In fact, there's nothing left to bring down from above. I mean, there's plenty up there, infinity of information, sensitive and mental. But it cannot be brought down. We need to rise up to it. I hope that's how it's going to be. We're doing something for it, nevertheless. You're recording lots of material, for example, things you've given out and continuing giving away. It's still being captured, regardless whether it's being used or not, but it's captured. It's being captured, gets into a system. I see the outcome of it. What I say today, I see it coming up a few months after the fact. Somebody repeats it somewhere. If not months, then few years, and so on. You see, it's silly to say even. Do you remember how many interviews I had with famous people when I was trying to tell them that the world is in crisis, in America, in Israel? I spoke with Nobel Prize nominees. 3 years before the crisis broke out, I spoke with them. 2 years before it, they were saying there is no crisis, and it's a scientist talking, not a politician. He doesn't trying to cover it up or anything. So there's no crisis, he says. Well, time moves fast, and things we're saying today, and those things that are entering the net, it becomes alive, the network of connections between everybody. So thus I think that there is a big hope that the world will reach its correction in a peaceful way, not through nuclear war, although it often frightens me, that kind of future for the world. It makes me sad for people.